What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Revolt Sports Weekly. First and foremost, we have to talk about some of the things we discussed last week because there have been some new developments. We talked in extensive detail about Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance and how excited and happy people are he's going to be performing at the Super Bowl. And as I predicted in his Saturday Night Live monologue, he spoke virtually no English. And if at the end of his monologue, he said, if you didn't understand what I said, you have 4 months to learn, insinuating that he's going to be speaking no English at the Super Bowl. Yes, I don't even want him to say hola. I want him to get up on that stage, do his thing, and I don't want him to pander or make anyone feel comfortable. I want him to do his thing. I love Bad Bunny, and I am so excited. Speaking of Super Bowl halftime performances, I just have to mention that I saw Taylor Swift on, I believe it was one of the Jimmy late night shows, and she was talking about the Super Bowl halftime show and how Jay-Z had brought it up to her team. And she said that she's not performing at the Super Bowl because she loves a man who plays football. And so she doesn't want to be thinking about her choreo while he's out there risking his life as a gladiator without swords. No, I'm not paraphrasing. That's exactly what she said. Girl, if you don't perform at that Super Bowl halftime show, that's like the most televised performance of anyone's career, and you're not doing it for a man? I don't know. That's ridiculous to me. Girl, you better hit that stage. Anyways, enough Super Bowl talk for now. Let's talk about a little bit of baseball. So you guys, things are really heating up in the baseball world. We asked you guys who you thought was going to win the World Series, and it was in an overwhelming majority, the Dodgers. The Dodgers closed out their series, and the Yankees, you guys, they're out of it. I said last week that I was hoping that they would win because I feel like that would be really exciting for New York and really exciting for everybody. But hopefully things pick up for New Yorkers come basketball season, because a little bit of a tease for what I'm going to talk about in a minute. Things aren't looking good in the Big Apple, okay? Now, the Cubs are heading back to Milwaukee. The Brewers were up 2-0. The Cubs stayed alive in Game 3, winning 4-3, and Game 4, winning 6-0. Now, it's a battle in Seattle. The series is all tied up 2-2 between the Seattle Mariners and the Detroit Tigers. Shout out Detroit. Detroit, stand up. Things are going well for them, okay? Now, the winner goes to play the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League Championship Series. And we asked you guys who you thought would win the World Series, and it's going to be the Dodgers. So we'll see, okay? LA, things are looking up for you guys. Now, I am so excited because, you guys, we talked last week a lot about the NFL and all of the games going on and benchings and new startings, and y'all, Jackson Dart. Okay, I asked, what does this mean for Russell Wilson last week, Jackson Dart starting? And now it seems like he is the first class ticket to a dub. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles last night in Thursday Night Football, and you guys, it was the Philadelphia Eagles' first back-to-back loss since 2023. The Super Bowl champs are looking a little bit depleted right now. It's not good. Their offense was even called predictable and boring. And not to mention, last week I spoke to you all about A.J. Brown tweeting Bible verses, throwing subliminals in public at his teammates. But then it was like, okay, dude, what are you doing? You're 4-0. You're winning. Now he's saying, meeting. I met with my coach and my teammates? I don't recall. But everyone seems to remember the meeting but him. So things are looking confusing. I will say, though, Jackson Dart, it's looking like you might be the first-class ticket to save your coach's job after all. So congratulations to the Giants, because things are looking up. Meanwhile, the Jets. The New York Jets still haven't won a game. Now, I said there are no undefeated teams left in the NFL. However, there are only defeated teams left. And Justin Fields, optimism. He said there's never been a team that's 0-5 that went to the NFL playoffs. And there's a first time for everything. So I'm wondering, you guys, do you believe that a team that's 0-5 can go to the NFL playoffs? I mean, I sure don't. But hey, it will be a great, great, great story. Now, it was madness on Monday night when the Jaguars played the Chiefs. The Chiefs are dealing with a losing season right now, and it is not looking cute in Kansas City. So let me tell you what happened. So this was the Jaguars' first wins against the Chiefs since 2009. And I always just refer to the Jaguars as the team with the quarterback who has great hair. I didn't think anything was going to go down for them. And they're now 4-1. 4-1. Okay. The Chiefs had countless penalties and special teams mistakes, and that is the root of their losing season. Hopefully, things look up in Kansas City because right now, ever since the Super Bowl, it has just been embarrassing. Now, I'm so excited because we are going to transition into basketball. The fall weather, the breeze is coming in. It is the WNBA finals. The NBA is coming into fruition. And I'm so excited to introduce our guest. You guys. She is a playmaking point guard whose energy, heart, and hustle you can feel from the nosebleeds, okay? She is a WNBA champion, okay? A two-way player, an all-defensive standout. And after cementing her legacy with the Washington Mystics, she brought her game to Phoenix, and now she is in New York chasing a chip. Y'all, I am so excited to welcome in the swaggiest, one of the most powerful and influential voices in sports. Natasha Cloud, welcome to the show.
Mariah, girl, thank you. You
She
make me
said she wanted
blush
a
over here.
casual intro, and I did
Not
not.
too, that was not casual at all, but not too much of my Eagles too, girl. I know we're 4-2 right now. I'm sick about it, okay?
Listen, I'm rooting for the Eagles as well. I really like them, but it's drama in
It,
Philly.
oh, it is always drama, and I don't understand why. Like, we're just really good, so put the pieces together
Listen, that all the best teams are super talented with a twinge of drama.
with a twist of it.
Now, I have to hear about it. I'm so excited to get to talk to you specifically because you spent time in Phoenix, there in the
Hmm.
finals, and now you're
Yeah.
in New York. I want to talk a little bit about your season in New York because I came to your opening night game against the Aces. So
Okay.
like so many things, so many pieces being put together. Your energy was contagious. New York was
Nah,
so
thank
excited to
you.
have you. Tell us about your experience with the Liberty.
My experience this year has been amazing. I really love New York as a whole. I think before the overwhelmingness of New York used to scare me when I was a younger player. But being in Brooklyn, being in a little hole in the wall, it just fits me perfectly as a person, a player, an activist. My family is really happy here. But with my off season, being traded wasn't on, the horizon for me. At least that's what I thought. The business part of this league happened, and that's just a part of it. So you just try to pivot as best you can. But I don't know if there's a better pivot than going to the New York Liberty. And so we didn't have the season we necessarily wanted to have this year. Obviously, we wanted to run it back and have them repeat and be a part of the repeat. That wasn't on the table for us, but it makes us that hungrier for this offseason to be 1% better coming back next season. It just lights a fire under your ass a little bit too. And I want to win, but that just wasn't in the cards for us this year. But nonetheless, I am really excited about this series that is Phoenix and the Aces. I think it's been like everyone's improbable thought of who was going to be in the finals. And I know it's a 3-0 right now, but the games are still really exciting. Like, game three goes down to the wire. Asia hits a buzzer beater. And I'm telling you, like right before, I was like, I just feel like Asia gonna hit this shit. I knew it. Like I just knew it was her time to go.
Yeah, as a WNBA player, I'm curious your perspective on the Aces being a 500 team. I mean, all of the talk going into this WNBA
Hmm.
season were you guys, the Liberty, and the Lynx. Now it's completely flipped. Things are different. And Asia
Yeah,
saying, if y'all aren't embarrassed by getting your asses whooped, don't come back. And they
I
went on a
loved it.
run. What is your perspective on that as a player?
I loved it. Honestly, coming in, you know that Vegas is a team that has all the pieces together. They've won together. They really have built somewhat of a legacy over there. So for them to start out the season how they did, I think it surprised us all. But who I do want to give flowers to is Asia, because I think whether it was the ebbs and flows of the season, she stayed and remained consistent for them, and she really challenged them as a leader and the go-to player to y'all either going to come with me or I'm going to leave you at the door. And that challenges everyone, especially when your franchise player is playing at an all-time high. She had her MVP season. Nonetheless, I think it's just, I think more people need to talk about Asia and what she was able to do. But then to also give the rest of their team flowers for stepping up. Jackie's been huge as of late. We're seeing the normal Chelsea Gray of leading that team and doing it with so much swag and flash. And then you have Jewel Lloyd, who put herself out of the starting group to come off of the bench because she knew that mentally that was better for her. You have Coach Becky, who it didn't phase her losing. She stayed consistent the whole time. She remained consistent for the team, and just continued to coach and understanding that, at some point this shit is going to kick in if I just trust my system, if I trust my team. And I think she does a really good job of playing her bench too, which the most dangerous teams in this league have the most dangerous benches.
Yeah, that's something I do a podcast with Lexi Brown as well. And we always talk about
Yeah.
teams needing to dip into their bench so that their star players don't get exhausted and there aren't injuries and dramatic things that
Yes.
happen. I'm curious your perspective as a two-way player.
Hmm.
Asia Wilson not only was the MVP this season, but she was the co-defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Playing at such a high level on both sides of the ball like that, especially this deep into the season, making a
It's
playoff run, can
exhausting.
you speak to how insane that is?
I talk about Asia's motor all the time, and I don't think I've ever talked about it publicly, more so behind the scenes. But two-way playing is so hard, and there's a reason that there it is very scarce of how many players actually play on both sides of the ball. It is exhausting mentally, emotionally, physically, and especially with how much Asia is banging underneath the basket as a post player. The ball goes through her offensively a lot of times, so she's getting banged up on the offensive end as well. So to have that consistently every single night, and again, at the beginning of the season, she was doing it alone most nights. But it's just, I think it's a testament to the player that she is. This is her fourth MVP. She got co-defensive player. I don't really believe in co-anything. I don't believe in participation points either. Like, that's just not what this is. I think Asia should have won it clean out. And that's just me being real. I'm not a hater. I think Alana Smith is huge for Minnie and what they do. But when you're talking about greatness, like, I don't even think it really compares. And I really want people to start talking about Asia as one of the best to ever play this game. And that's talking, including all the OGs that came before us, that we're standing on the shoulders of now. She is one of the best to ever come and play through this league and on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think something a lot of people talk about with records and things that kind of erase the past of the WNBA is the fact that there are
Yeah.
more games, more teams now, more opportunities. But I
Hmm.
think that honestly plays into Asia's favor uniquely because
For
with
sure.
there being more games and more opportunities and her playing on such a high level on both sides, it's like this is insane. Her ability to stay healthy,
Insane.
her motor, like you said. I want to
Hmm.
talk about Phoenix because you have a unique perspective, obviously. But what
Yes.
do they need to do to get back in this?
I mean, tonight is game 4, and it's win or go home. And for me, and knowing that the dogs that Phoenix has on their team, they're not going to go down without a fight tonight. You don't want to ever be swept. That's just embarrassing as a player. And I think Phoenix, on the other side, has probably had a little bit harder of a road to get to the finals with having to go through, right, the two teams that they talked about, and us as the Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx of what they said was the finals to begin with. So I do think their road to the finals was a little bit hard. But nonetheless, like, this is championship basketball, and for a Phoenix organization that started to rebuild last season with Kalia Copper and then came into this year with huge free agents, this is what you have been building for. AT is going to come out tonight, and I know she's going to play her best basketball, the same as Kalia Copper. I don't think we've seen their best outings, and their best outings at the same time. And so I'll be interested to see what Satu is going to happen. That's a huge loss if she's not able to play tonight. But I think we saw at the end of the game, too, they were able to come back down 10 without Satu in the mix, by just, moving that ball a little bit more when you take one of your main scorers out. So what I do expect to see from Phoenix tonight is y'all got to come out and throw the first punch, and the second and the third and the fourth. And it's got to be you all night, just leaving whatever it is. You have 2, 3 days to recover after this game, but this is the game that you have to get. And on your home court, too. Like, you don't want to lose the finals on your home court being swept.
Yeah, so this is a little spicy. Now,
Spicy.
the fan conversation has been obviously a lot is going on in the W right now.
There's a
And
lot.
yes, and there were huge officiating issues in
Hmm.
and that's an understatement, in their last series
Yeah.
against the Lynx. A lot of the conversation has been around physicality in the
Hmm.
WNBA, what should be allowed, what shouldn't be allowed, consistency, XYZ.
Hmm.
AT is a very physical player. And
Hmm.
a lot of fans are feeling like because of the conversation surrounding officiating, the refs might have gone in their little ref group chat and been like, look, we gotta tie some loose ends, we gotta crack
Hmm.
down, whatever. And it's affecting her game. She obviously is frustrated with
Yeah.
the officiating. What is your perspective on the officiating dilemma and how it's affecting the finals?
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't get fined for this. I feel like I'm
I'll
out of
Venmo
season,
you.
right? So I love you, sis. No, I'm playing. I just think that these are like the hard dialogues that when we're talking about progressing our sport forward, this is one of those that has to progress with us. We're continuing as the players to build and get better every single year. Like now, the league from when I entered in 2015 is 10 times harder. Like every team is even playing field. You have Indiana that almost knocked Vegas out to get to the finals with like zero bodies on the roster. So, from the standpoint of the league has become such an elite level of play, our officiating has to follow. And I think what most people don't understand is there's no like pipeline to the W. And if anything, the W is a pipeline to the NBA. So we have lost over my 10-year career some of my favorite refs, the best refs to the NBA. I watch them officiate the NBA now. So it almost is like for the players, we have said to our league for years now, we don't want to be a stepping stone. We want us to be the step. So how do we start to pay our refs better? How do we train them better? How do we prep them better? Because even refs that are coming from the G League, our rules are completely different. Refs coming from college, our league, our rules, our physicality are completely different. So now you're seeing it play out in a final segment where, yes, we had a hard foul on Fee. I know she plucked the ball first, but you cannot go through a player's body in order to pluck that ball. So I don't know. Y'all opinions can be on that. As a player who's played her whole entire life, that's a foul. And you take out one of our best players in the league in a semifinal game who can't play the next game. It's just not good for the overall business, which is what we're saying. Now it affects AT, but this is the inconsistency that we have been frustrated with for years. You're talking about I was suspended last season. I had 7 technicals. I was suspended. 3 should have been rescinded. And when calling to try to not get suspended, I couldn't get a hold of anyone from the front office. I was told by the head referee, Sue Blau, well, this is who runs it. So then I call them. Well, this is who runs it. The third person tells me it's Sue. And I'm like, I have a fucking game tomorrow that I'm suspended for, and we're trying to make a playoff run. And I should, and on top of it, you're taking money from me. So this has been a frustrating um, issue for us for years. You're talking about even OGs that came before me. This was a topic of conversation. So it has gone on deaf ears, and why you see Nafisa, who is so quiet, reserved, graceful, calculated, so intelligent in everything that she does, every approach to the game, um, is tired of professionalism, formality, and protecting a league that will not protect her, will not protect us. And so the conversation then becomes, I can't keep protecting you when this is the shit that's happening and we're trying to progress this forward. And then you're still going out publicly and being like, I got these girls' backs. No, you don't. Because if you did, the CBA, y'all would have brought back a better counter to our negotiations because you presented us the same CBA that you did months ago when you first approached us with it. There's no changes to it. So from that standpoint, no, you don't value us. You don't see the importance of what we bring to the league or to your bank account, because without us, there's no money in your account. Um, as well as the officiating of like, man, we're trying to work with you here. You're not hearing us. So we now have to, no one responds better to anything than bad publicity. So that is to the point that we're at because we have done everything the right way, the professional way, the protection way of our league. But our league doesn't want to protect us. And we're going into a CBA that they want us to sign for 8 years. And we're like, this shit not happening.
No.
This is not happening.
So much to unpack from what you just said, but
Sorry,
the
yeah, I
first
just
thing
gave you like a shit ton.
no, girl, I got it. No worries. The first thing I
Okay.
want to unpack is you speaking about being suspended and it being difficult for you to get a hold of somebody in leadership. Is
Oh
that
my
a
God.
normal occurrence in the W when you have a
Yes.
problem, an issue trying to get a hold of somebody in the front office?
Yes. If I want to resolve an issue myself as a player, it is damn near impossible to get a hold of anyone. I will say I think Bethany is the best one that always answers my call. But other than that, no. I've been kept off of off-season marketing because I don't fit where our league wants us to be from an activism standpoint, and that's out of Kathy's mouth as well. So like these are things that I'm not going to publicly say, 2, 3 years ago because I want to protect our league. But now, in hindsight, it's like, no, maybe we should have been talking about who really is running our league years ago. But yeah, this is a normal occurrence where I have to either go through my agent or our union to even get a hold of someone or an answer. And I still haven't gotten an answer or response for the money that I'm due back for those 7 technicals of last season. And on top of it, the 7 technicals that we're allowed is for 35 games. Kathy keeps bumping us up to 44. So if we're going to keep adding games, then we need to add technicals to match those games. So technically, I shouldn't have been even suspended last year.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. And the interesting thing is you mentioning having to go through the players union to be able to get to somebody in leadership, and Fee
Yeah,
being the vice president, she probably has added frustration. A lot of people thought her speaking on that was just because of their loss, but she's probably
no,
hearing a lot of these, hey, I need to get a hold of somebody. Hey, I need to get a hold of somebody. And she can't get a hold of
absolutely.
somebody herself. I also am curious when you talk about being left off of off-season marketing because of activism and things of that nature, what do you mean by that? Is it what about you is because you are kind of the face, at least in my eyes, of
We love you,
being an
Queen.
activist in the WNBA. That's what you're known for. So in what way is that not suitable for marketing for the W?
I mean, this is the story of my life. I just believe that God intended my career to be much greater than winning games or championships. And so I really feel like my purpose is to be a servant to my community, to others, and to things that meet the intersectionality of who I am, communities that I love and that I am a part of, and even communities that I'm not a part of. I just believe in being a good human being and meeting everyone with love and with decency and dignity. And I have this wild thought that there's enough out here for everyone to live a dignified life and to be treated the same. And a lot of times we talk about equality. I don't believe in equality. I believe in equity. And equity means that you give people and demographics of people that systems have been set up to see them fail. You give them more to get them to where like we're at as a world. So I don't really know why. I do know why. As a business, you got to protect it. I lose money all the time, endorsements, sponsorships because of my standpoints on activism. I think a lot of people like to be safe during these times, and I just think that we're in times that you can't be safe. You have to be able to stand up for your community and others. You have to be able to stand up for people to the left and the right of you when you see things aren't being done the right way. And so for that, I have always been seen as almost like the black sheep of the W because I'm going to talk about shit. I'm going to spit facts about it. And I think who I am, I'm from Philly. So there's no like sweet talking. We're blunt. Let's get from point A to B and see if we can come to a solution where everyone feels like they win. But pussyfooting around stuff has never been the way that I go about it. And I don't really think solutions come from dancing around issues. So, yeah, I've been kept off of off-season marketing because of my stances on major world issues. Um, and I stand on being a human being and human decency.
Wow, that's insane, especially
Yeah.
within a league that is so vocal. I feel like it's kind of
Hmm.
hard to pluck players out of the W that don't have a connection to a bigger purpose or issue, what no matter what side you're on different world issues.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody is vocal. I kind of know where everybody stands with the exception of
Yeah.
maybe a handful of players. You mentioned having dialogue with Kathy directly.
Mm.
After Fee's statements, Kathy gave her little press conference thing where she said that there's a lot of misinformation out there about her and what she said and what wasn't said. What was your reaction? I saw you in TikTok comments, but vocally, what was your reaction to Kathy's, I didn't say that. Please stop bullying me?
Uh, I think it speaks to a much broader issue that we face every single day here in this country too. But Kathy basically just went on national television and said a black woman lied. Your player. And so this is what like when people are like, what's going on? Literally all you have to do is look at the commissioner and the leader of our league and how she just threw a player under the bus after being called out, right? I would have loved for Kathy. That was for I think all of us as players, a moment where Kathy could have taken accountability and been like, while I'm not happy about like our private conversations coming to the public, I do feel that, I maybe spoke with a heart, something along the lines of accountability, but not deny, deny, deny. But we know in the business world, deny, deny, deny is the best way to protect yourself. And so I'm just really disappointed from Kathy. I feel like she is missing the mark of being the biggest girls girl of, this era and this decade of women in sports and progressing us forward. And, I would be crazy to put all the blame on Kathy because the way that our league is still set up is that there is still NBA ties to decisions that we make for our league. So I think it's all of us that are under this umbrella of the NBA had to go to a lockout years ago to get what they deserved. And that is what it is looking like for us in this offseason if they don't start to meet us in the middle somewhere. I think they think that we're scared. Baby, we've been saving money for the last 2 years. Our union has been telling us we have been prepared. We have the beautiful thing about our league is like we all had to go to 4 years of college and we understand basic economics. I think you're going to hear Lexi say this a lot. So even when it comes to these fights, we're not asking for what our male counterparts are making, but we are asking for what is due and what is deserved. And so when going into a CBA negotiation that's 8 years, you can dangle this little big chunk of money in front of our faces and maybe fool a few in our league, a few of the younger ones. But to the OGs and to 10-year vets that have been here, and it's like, man, after 2 years from the team level, we're gonna be making millions. What are we even talking about? What are you even talking about? We would be dumb to sign this, and we would be dumb to the next generation of women to sign the CBA as it stands. So I think all in all, I just want Kathy to understand. And Sid kind of tried to say it to her, Sydney Colson, when we all met at All Star, was like, Kathy, I don't think I want you're talking from a business standpoint, but we want you to talk from a human standpoint. We want you to talk from the young girl that played basketball, that grew up loving this game and didn't have a means to watch it until what, 1990, whatever it started, 1996. So from there we have progressed, and now that young girl that grew up is now in charge of this league, and she has such a pivotal moment to change the trajectory of women in sport and women in basketball, and you're not doing it.
Yeah.
I know in corporate America and with Deloitte, you learn to be almost like male centered in the business world. Baby, this is not a male-centered league. This is a women's league. So we do need those relationships as well. And if anything, if I could give any like recommendation to Kathy, it's you need to work on your relationships because we have none with you, zero. You've been my commissioner for almost 5 years now. I don't even know where you stay. I don't know your kids' names. I don't know shit about you. And you likewise, you don't know shit about me either. And that is the tension a lot right now too is like there's no relationships here.
And how could you say you have the player's best interest of heart if you don't know them? That's where I'm not computing what she's saying.
Yes.
I Here's the thing with the CBA. So I think a lot of fans and non-fans that are very invested in everything the WNBA has going on and always have something to say, are very confused
Loyalists.
about what you guys actually want and what you
Mhm.
guys are actually frustrated about and what you're actually asking for versus what's just hoopla from the internet. Could
Mhm.
you clarify for people? I saw Satu saying something about how one of the problems and why it feels like such a slap in the face is that whatever was presented to you guys is stopping you from making money elsewhere, which we see Angel Reese walking the Victoria's Secret fashion
Mhm.
show, and we see Unrivaled and all of
They don't want us to
AU.
have an off season.
Yes. What specifically is happening that is trying to impede you from making money from other places?
So in this CBA, and I'm sure I'm allowed, I'm not going to give like too much, but
Right.
in the CBA that they presented to us, how we have always made our money is the off season. We have always made more money playing overseas or now in Unrivaled than we do our actual league. So you're talking about we have, because we love the W and we want it to be the best league in the world, we have taken less than for years. We have taken less than for years when we could have played overseas for the whole duration of the W season and made tenfold what we make. So the off season is where we have always made our money. It's where players go overseas. It's where we play in Unrivaled. Essentially, what the W is wanting in the CBA is that now, because they're paying us more money, the off season is theirs. And so there will be no Unrivaled, which is why they wouldn't take the equity when Unrivaled offered it. There will be no Athletes Unlimited. There will be no overseas. And if you are not back by the start of training camp, you're suspended for the whole year, a whole W season. So when you're talking about, again, this is investing in women, and if you are really valuing us as players and people, you should want us to be able to provide for our families in the best ways that we can. And that is by giving you our all during a W season and then going wherever we go in the off season to again offset that money. So basically, they don't want us to have an off season. So essentially, what they're recommending is that from whenever this finals is over until it starts again, it's a block period.
And
While
doesn't
still not offering us fucking money.
right. And that
Like the
that
logic behind it.
you would have to supplement my income I would make there in order for me to make that decision. On top of that, does it
And
not
it's
benefit
not.
the W to have you guys not only domestic, but together, playing together? It's a different style of basketball. Obviously, it's 3-on-3,
Mhm.
but communicating, relationships, all of the TikToks that were made, the Sephora stuff, like that was a really big driver in helping people who weren't previously interested in the W want to watch this season.
It's a protection of their investment.
Right.
Us being home is a protection of their investment. And my dog BG story is the best way and example of saying that. To keep us from going overseas where we're not necessarily safe, we're not always getting the best treatment and care and strength and conditioning. We're away from our families for 8 months. It's a lot. Like I was a player that went over for 2 years and I was like, this overseas shit ain't for me. I gotta figure out how to get this money by tomorrow here. Like that's always been my plan. But for those that go over, it should still always be an option for them. But yes, as far as the W, all these leagues in the off season, all these opportunities that are coming to players, it's a protection of their investment to be here. So I haven't really understood, but in the grand scheme of things, we understand because we understand the business. And it's very clear that they see Unrivaled as a threat, which it shouldn't be because we're just adding to, you know what I mean?
Based on what I've heard from you and other WNBA players and my time covering it, it almost sounds like you're constantly getting beaten down by your
All the
own
time.
league and by people who are haters of it. And there's so much, I don't like almost pain that I see.
God.
What is the driving factor to make you guys continue to show up every single day for a league that it seems doesn't entirely appreciate you, that it seems you aren't getting? I mean, it's easy probably to show up to work every day for an NBA or NFL player getting paid hundreds of
Yeah.
millions of dollars and
Okay.
everybody worships the ground they walk on. You guys are moving to other countries to play basketball.
Mhm.
You're jumping through hoops. You're getting disrespected by the people who run your league. Why do you do it? Why not say, okay, let's all go play an Unrivaled forever? What is the driving factor to continue to go to the WNBA?
We love this game. Every single player that plays this game, man, you have to have like a crazy obsessive love with this game to do what we do, what we put our bodies through, and this is just any athlete. Like what we put our bodies, our minds, our spirits, our everything through, our families through. We love this game. The second part of it is we love this league. And I think it's crazy because it's like you say this even in like your everyday, it's like, man, I love this league, but this league don't love me, right? It's like, man, this country loves our culture, but they don't really fuck with us. Like it's kind of the same thing tenfold. So it's like, why do we continue to show up every single day? And for me, I've always had this mindset of like, I'm never going to be anybody's puppet. I'm still going to get up every single day. I love this. I'm very blessed to do this. I'm blessed to be able to provide for my family through a game that I grew up playing. So, all those things are the same. I think what really keeps us passionate and fighting is the OGs that came before us had to fight for what we have now. And it is our job and our responsibility to make sure the next generation of women don't have to fight these same fights. And obviously, there's some self-preservation in there too of like, man, I'm so excited that at year 10 going into year 11 I get to meet this new CBA. Like I didn't know if I was going to get to see this in the latter part of my career. So you also have that selfishness of like, man, I want to be in this league while it's thriving, while it's great. I want to push this league to be the best that it can be. And then when I'm done with my time, I want to be able to watch the next generation knowing that, man, we did this shit together. Like we, as a predominantly Black league full of all women of different shapes, colors, sizes, sexual preferences, orientations, religions, all the above. We did this shit together. Like, I love sports because it has a way of unifying everyone, regardless of all those external factors and biases. But, like, man, to really just put our all into something and see the results of it, that's beautiful to me. That's what I've grown up on too, is like you get shit out the mud, and because you had to work so hard to get it out the mud, the flowers that come when you actually succeed, man, that shit's beautiful. So I want this league to be great, not only for myself and the players that are playing now, but I want this league to be great for the next generation of women, that they don't have to keep fucking taking crumbs. Like, it's enough crumbs. This business is booming. We got teams coming in at a crazy speed at 250 mil each, and we don't see a dime of it. You got teams that are making crazy money from the team level, and you don't want to share it. And even our league revenue is the way that it works is the league takes what they want, the teams take what they want, and then what's ever left over comes to us. What fucking sense? Sorry. What sense does that what sense does that make? You know what I mean? And I think this is an overarching topic in our country right now. Is like, man, it is the hard-working Americans, it is the hard-working players that build these companies and that don't receive anything for it. That is the challenge that we are facing. It is an overhanging challenge that I think is plaguing us right now. And so, shit, maybe we can get the ball rolling by starting in the W with equal pay. The NWSL already did it. So I just feel like right now, we as the players hold all the power. I truly believe that. We hold all the power. We have the fan support. We might have some like, haters are gonna be out there, and the miserable people behind Twitter are gonna be there. Like, that says more about you than it ever does about me. But nonetheless, the power is in our hands right now in this off season, and that's exciting for us.
One of the pushbacks on paying the players has been that it's not sustainable. And before we get into what you're looking
Then
for
they
to
need
in
to
the
cut their
future, right?
salaries.
Yeah, that's that's a good point.
Okay, then y'all cut your salaries if it's not feasible.
Right, that's a great point. One of the pushbacks is it's not sustainable to pay the players what you guys are asking for, which is just a valuable
Mhm.
share of what they're making. I'm curious your view on, as you said, you're looking forward to as a vet, looking to the future and seeing players not have to go through what you went through. And we've seen
Mhm.
players come into the league, Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, the youngins come into the league and really take it by storm. Juju Watkins coming
Mhm.
into the next couple of years. What
Yeah.
is your perspective on what they're bringing to the table and this whole controversy of like, they don't deserve it because they are in the WNBA and that's how they're making their money. And the WNBA is so jealous of them that they get all these, when you guys are kind of all fighting for the same thing.
I I generally always am so confused by the pitting against the vets and the rookies.
Oh, they
Like,
say you guys hate Caitlin Clark. That's the narrative.
it's been the narrative, and that's a racially charged narrative that I just wish that would stay the fuck out of our league. But with Caitlin, one of my favorite point guards that's currently playing, one of the hardest people that I have to guard on the court, literally could shoot over half court. And so when it's like, no, but when she did come into this league, oh baby, welcome, because I'm excited. I'm excited to get to guard you. You're my assignment. And just as I had that, like I had Elena Beer guarding me 90 feet from the basket as a rookie. Like she was in my shit. The amount of times that DT punched me in my nose my rookie season, my nose was bleeding. I got the foul called on me. I have a missing tooth from Joel Lloyd from my second year in the league. Like this has always been a physical league. So that divisiveness, we hate it. We have our own relationships behind the scenes, so we don't really like feed into it too much. I do want to say though, those players that are coming in and all the names that you just said, our league is better because of them. And whatever Kathy said about she should be thanking me, all that shit, Kathy. Now you know you asked backwards for that because they have made our league better. We have always had this disconnect of why, when everybody's favorite players graduate from college, do they not come to where they now all play in the Central League of the WNBA? And we have bridged that gap with this new generation of players coming in. They now are bringing those fans. Now, I think those fans need to take a little chill pill and be humbled because it's been around for years. But nonetheless, yes, they're pivotal for what we are doing. Where I see this league going years from now, even when I'm done, is that players don't have to offset their money if they don't want to in the off season. They can play the W and make a means for their family to where they just get to chill and really enjoy an off season for the few months if they want to. If they want to continue playing and build their bag, then go ahead. But the investment piece from all angles, I just want the investment from even like our TV deals. Obviously, it's tenfold this time around. I want it to continue to get better. I want us to be more easily accessible. I want our W app to be better. I want games to stop being blacked out. I want every team to have a practice facility. I want every team to have a chef. I want every team to have charter flights, and which we do now, but like all of those things should be a standard that we shouldn't even have to talk about in 5 to 10 years. And that is my hope for every team, because you can still look at our league and be like, these are the owners that need to go. And that's just me being real. If you're not willing to invest your money and really like put yourself out there for us, then it is clearly your time to move on and give it to someone who is, because there is willing investors. And so, yeah, that's just my hope, is that we continue to build this, and we continue to take care of the players that do build it.
In the short term, do you believe that there will be a lockout?
Yes.
Wow. Well, that is going to be quite
And I'm so
interesting.
thankful to Unrivaled and Athletes Unlimited, because if there was not leagues in this off season, I don't know if we would be able to stand 10 toes on the lockout. So truly, when it comes to like taking care of us, those two leagues are doing their job with making sure in the off season we're good, we're protected, we can provide for our families. Because man, this lockout, I mean, Mariah, when I tell you, they did not change the CBA. We sent it back with what we wanted, and they sent the same shit back. They literally sent the same shit back with no changes. And that
Wow.
took almost like 5 months, 5.5, 6 months for them to send back. So when we're talking about, do we want to lock out? No, as the players, we want to play for our fans. We want to play for our organizations. We want to go into free agency where everyone is a free agent this all season. And it's like the Hunger Games. We want to do all that. The league doesn't want us to have a season, right? Like, it's no different than our government being shut down right now. Why? Because we won't meet in the fucking middle. Sorry, I keep bringing it back to real life time, but like
No, please. This is
this
real
is our
life.
issue.
Yeah.
This is real life.
Wow. I am going to be interested to see what comes out of this. If you had to wrap this all up in a pretty little bow, if you had to say getting the same CBA back from before, the number one thing that you need to see change in order to go through with playing in the next season, what is that thing? And oh, I said I was done, but I do need to ask, are there disagreements amongst players about there being a lockout? Is anybody like, hey, I would play? Is that something that's also
Yeah.
happening?
There's always going to be certain players that want to play, and that's just the reality of like our lives. We have to provide for our families. So when you're taking X amount of dollars out of players' pockets, like yes, that's we're probably going to still face. But the overall hanging, and when we met at All Star too, that was such like a powerful moment for us to have that many W players in one setting. We've never had it. So when we were all there, we were looking around, we're like, we're actually gonna fucking do this. Like, we're actually gonna be unified, and we might have disagreements in the midst, but the beautiful thing about us is we will always come to a common ground on our side. And that's all we're kind of asking from the other side, the front office side. So will I think there will be players? Yes, that will be like, I want to play. But I think with having the unrivaled, and we've added more players to Unrivaled with having Athletes Unlimited. I think that number of players that are like, hey, man, is going to kind of cut down. Um, and then what was your first part of your question, Laura? I'm
The first
sorry.
part is, what is the number one thing that you
Oh,
feel
Pretty
needs to
Bow.
change?
Pretty Poppy Bow. Pretty
Hmm.
Poppy Bow. I
Yes.
got I got two because the off season, trying to live in our off season is absolutely asinine. For the W to even come tenfold, and even for there's players in that front office that have played in this league, and for you to even be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Come on, man. Like y'all know better than that. And then what we really want is revenue share from the team standpoint. So teams will tell you that they're losing money on us, but what they won't tell you is that the teams that actually have the rights to their building, right? Their owners, whoever invested into it, it's a real estate write-off. So stop playing, stop insulting our intelligence because you get write-offs from it. And then on top of it, the signage that goes into that building, all the sponsorships, the endorsements that come through that building, all the food that you have, y'all are making money. We just don't see a dime of it where y'all are making money. So from that standpoint, we also want revenue share from the team standpoint, knowing that if you're gonna have a sign an 8-year CBA, then baby, you gotta pay. That's it.
Right. And there's a reason that these wealthy people are arguing over owning a team and investing in a team. And there's a reason they want to get into the league because they know that it's growing and they know that women's sports is where the world, like, that's where the money is at. And
Absolutely.
even if it doesn't look that way right now, it is 100% where things are headed. And on top of that, there is no league with no players. That's it.
There's period. There is no,
That's
say it
it.
again, girl. For the people in the back, there is no league with no players.
The owners are replaceable. The commissioner is replaceable. Everyone's replaceable but y'all. So
Hmm.
there's no league without y'all. I hope that you get everything you're asking for and more. I think that you will
Thank
because
you,
again,
sis.
there with no players, there's no league, so they're gonna have to figure it out. I
They're
think
gonna
they're
have
calling your
to.
bluff and stand 10 toes down because if you stand on it, you'll get it.
Oh, girl, I'm gonna put my Timbs on. I'm gonna stomp on bitches. Stop playing with me. I'm standing 10 toes in my buttons. Stop
I
playing.
love it. I love it. Well, we are going to transition a little bit into the NBA, the MNBA, as us W fans love to call it.
We
But
love you for it.
yes, we're going to transition to a little bit of NBA, and Tosh is going to stay along to give some of her thoughts because I have to hear what you think about LeBron James pump faking the retirement, and then it was a Henny
And
commercial.
he pump faked me, and I turned my head and everything to see if the shot went up. You feel me? I was, I was like, man, year 23. His number is 23. You know, he got Bronny to the league. I just feel like, and it's gonna be, and I know Savannah want her husband back. Okay, she done gave you years, so I
Woo.
know she want her husband. I thought it was a retirement, and then when he came out with the Henny, I was like, all right, you play too much, but like I also like Henny too, so I feel you on that. But I'm like, is this gonna be an all season thing that we're waiting for like your retirement tour? But I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
I feel like I like to see my goats. LeBron is not my GOAT. Steph Curry is my GOAT. And I know he's not the GOAT, but
Okay,
that's
I
like,
like
for
that.
me, that's the kind of basketball I love to watch.
That
And
man is like 6'2" and he changed the trajectory of the game. That man is a GOAT.
oh my gosh, he's my absolute favorite. But I
He
see
literally
the
changed the
LeBron
way all
argument.
of us play.
Literally, everyone
Yeah.
across
Yeah,
both
on both
leagues.
sides. Yeah,
Yes.
like we all play a five out offense now with Reeds because of Steph Curry and Golden State.
What an insane stamp to have on your legacy. That is why he's my GOAT. Especially
Okay.
since it's so entertaining to me. Like, it's my favorite way to watch. Like, people
Okay.
complain too many threes, too many threes. I don't say enough. I love it.
I love it. I think it's beautiful basketball.
Agreed. I mean, when it's going in. When it's not, then it's a little
Yeah.
like, all right,
It's
y'all.
ugly as hell.
Yeah.
Donk.
Yeah. It's horrible.
We
But
had some of that.
I want to see LeBron go out on top. I don't want to
I do.
see what we're already a little bit starting to see him out for the first month or so of the season, his
Hmm.
injury, twinging a nerve. I don't want to
Yeah.
see that from LeBron. I don't want his knees to be buckling and stuff.
Yeah, cause see, I feel you on that because his career has, I mean, you're talking about like the greatest of all time for real. And I know that's like everyone's got their own opinion of players per era, but I just, oh man, there's no one touching Bron, so I don't want to see him go out on like, man, I'm walking out and I'm limping out. What Dwayne Wade said to me when he retired, of like what he said to the masses was, man, I want to walk away from this game, and I want to do it walking fine. Like I heard him when he said that, and I want that same sentiment for Bron because man, you have given too much for this game for you to be limping off the court when you retire.
I always say when it comes to NBA conversations, we always turn on the TV. We see so many former NBA players and
Hmm.
whatnot analyzing the game, but you guys have such a good view of basketball. The IQ in the WNBA is insane.
It's insane.
Oh my gosh. So I would love to hear more from you guys on it. I'm curious going into this NBA season, do you have a prediction for who you think could come out on top, could win the championship? What are your predictions for this NBA season?
Honestly, I feel like it's a little bit up in the air. Truly, like I don't ever feel like there is in the NBA. And two, I usually make my prediction by like mid-season because they have so many games. And so, like, even when you're talking about why Braun is probably sitting the first month, is like, man, if I can miss that first chunk of games, get my body back, and then be back when it counts, I'm sure that's his thought process right now. I'm a Sixers fan through and through. I've been trusting the process for like 13,
Oh
14 years
gosh.
now. Yeah, I know. I feel bad for me because I said that and like my chest hurts saying it.
Trusting the process.
I'm trusting the process. This is ridiculous. I love the way Golden State plays. That's a huge team for me. I love that KD went to Houston. I think it's a random move, but I'm excited to see what can happen there. Truly,
Now,
do you have a team that you think is going to be like? Because I'm looking through and I'm like, who going to win?
I feel the same way
I think
that you
the Knicks
do.
are solid.
The Knicks, I would love to see that. I feel the same way
I
you do though about how many games there are. I can't really make people try, but I can't
Yeah.
really make a solid prediction on who's going to win the championship when there's 82 games per team. We don't know who's going to get injured. We don't know what's going to happen. It's so long. I
Ask me at
can't.
game 40.
Yeah.
Ask me at game 40 who I think. Because that's what, and I feel like really in the men's NBA, I get it. 82 games, that's a lot of games. I don't feel like they start playing until like it really matters too.
Agreed.
Um, I feel like from jump, you're gonna see our league. We play hard from the moment that that ball tips. I don't necessarily think we always get that from them. So yeah, I really do like to be like game 20, 30. I'll be like, okay, I can see who's panning out. I can see which teams are gelling. I can see which superstars are button heads and it's not working out there. Um, but yeah, I don't know who I would say. I'm
And
gonna go
y'all
with
play
the Knicks
defense.
being in New York.
Y'all play
And
defense in a
who
way
put
I don't see.
I'd be like, people be like, oh my God, 130 points. I'd be like, that's bad. That's terrible defense. Y'all didn't play a lick of defense.
They don't. And how could you when you got 80 games to look forward to? I mean, they
I agree.
don't. It's very different. The physicality in the WBA, it's night and day from
I
the
do
NBA.
agree.
It's so different. So I have to ask you about, listen, you're a Sixers fan, so you are an expert about this. Load management, injuries, not I'm not playing
Mhm.
back-to-backs. As a Sixers fan, what is your view on this whole Joel Embiid fiasco?
Listen, I think Joel is the most dominant, and I say this, the most dominant when he is healthy and when he is on his shit. He's the most dominant, most versatile five in the league. Like you're talking about a over 7 footer that can handle the ball, can shoot threes. And I know there's like Cat, I know there's Joker, but the power in which he plays with, like if Cat's under that basket and Joel actually wants to like dunk that shit, all he's gonna do is body throw that bitch down. He can hit a 3-2, he can pull up. Well, my frustration with Joel is like, man, you don't play. That and I'm speaking as like a Sixers fan, and even if I was your teammate, I'd be like, nigga, you was stealing money from us. You was stealing money from us because I'm out here every night, 82 games, busting my ass, and I'm only going to see you for maybe 20 to 30.
Yeah.
And I know like a lot of that, I will say this with like men that are that size, it is really hard to keep your body healthy, the pounding, the demand that he puts on his body. But I'm like, there was also times I'm from Philly, so I hear what's going on at the Sixers facility from time to time. And when you're young, it's like, man, you got to take care of your diet, you got to take care of your body, and you got to. The older you get, it becomes that much more intense. So you might not want to be in the gym for 3-4 hours taking care of your body, but you got to fucking do it
Right.
in order to be on the floor, in order to be in to play. And for me, it's just like I have to say that because you are literally our franchise player who we mold everything around. And so from the Sixers standpoint, it's like at what point do we decide to either shift it to Maxi or shift it to someone else? Because it hasn't worked. It
Right.
hasn't worked. We've
Right.
gotten close, but we haven't been able to get over the hump. And I will never forgive them for not choosing Jason Tatum. Like, I don't understand. I threw something at the TV. I was like, I can't do this no more. Fuck this process.
Bro, the process, it's time to let the process go.
It's
Now,
time to let the process go.
the last thing I want to ask you on this NBA, WNBA front, final question for you, Tosh, is I feel like a lot of people don't know what is the relationship like between the NBA and the WNBA. Like, do you and the Knicks ever have dinner? Do they come and
No,
support
I
y'all?
would
What is
love
that
to.
like?
I would love to though. We have Jalen here. They went to Nova. We have Josh here. I went to St. Joe's, so I would love to get like a big five dinner in. Um, Cat's funny as hell. I feel like he got done dirty last year, Vinny, but New York was where he's supposed to be. But as far as like what is our relationships, I feel like we're always cool. I feel like I played 8 years with Brad Beal, and if there was ever a time that I needed him, I could easily call him and he would step up for me. Like that's just the kind of relationship. Same with like John Wall being in DC with me. So there's always those interactions between the two. I think there's always a mutual respect between the two. But I would say I would love for our male counterparts to step up and to advocate for Black women a little bit more in these times where we are negotiating and we are fighting. Like I remember years ago, and Draymond has done so much better since, but he was like, why don't y'all try this, this, and this? And it was like, nigga, you haven't even had a conversation with us. Because if you did, you would understand we tried this, this, and this. But like ask us where we need help and we'll tell you. Like we'll direct you. We know y'all know that from your homes. Y'all women lead your homes. Allow us to lead you in where we need your help. But I do feel like we need a little bit more advocating and less from Michael Porter Jr.
Amen.
Someone
I
take the mic away from that man. And I
Amen.
don't know what I'm going to do when I see him here in Brooklyn, but we might have to have a little conversation because
Listen, I would
he
love to.
irritated my
I would
fucking
love
soul.
Michael Porter Jr. If you would like to come on Revolt Sports Weekly and answer some of my questions, I would love to open up that
I
floor for
would love
you.
to come back as a guest. As a
Yes,
guest,
and have
we
that
got questions.
conversation.
I
Listen,
need to pick your
I
brain.
I do want to say before we wrap that it is of importance that men, I feel like there's a lot of disrespect from that side when it comes to what you guys are going through. And I'm not a
Hmm.
WNBA player, but I can say this. If I do have a daughter and she's playing basketball, that is where she will be. And that
Absolutely.
is who she will be looking up to, you guys. And it is important
Hmm.
that our daughters, Black women, white women, all women coming into the WNBA have a place to dream and a place to go like young
For
boys
sure.
do when it comes to sports. There should be an inviting space for them, and the WNBA should be that. And so, men, Step up. I mean, this is the future. This is your children.
Mhm.
This is really important. So,
And
Tosh,
stop letting the poppy, the masculine deter you all away. I think that talks more about yourselves as men and the projection of whatever insecurities you are feeling. Your daughters, your sons are going to experience differences. I'll say it in that way so we don't have to go into verbiage. They're going to experience these differences in all of their worlds combined. And if your sons, your daughters fall into a certain demographic, your job as a parent is to support them and love them. But you imploring your own biases onto your kids does not help them, and it does not help us in progressing this sport forward. So I just would like y'all keep them own biases to yourself. We're about it. We're too old to not grow and evolve and open our minds. And I think that's a lot of shit that plagues men too when it comes to our league. Your sons and daughters will not be gay for supporting our league. I'm tired of hearing that dumb shit.
as if that's the worst thing you could be in the world. Like, bye.
In the world, I'm like, I live a very happy life. I got a baddie. I'm
Amen.
great. I'm
Amen.
thriving.
Well, thank you so much for joining the show. This was so much fun. I could talk to you all day. You're going to have to come
Girl,
back.
yes. No, you're
And
gonna have to come to New York and do dinner with Tizzy. We already talked about this.
yes.
And boyfriend is invited too, please.
Yay. I would love that. I would love that. But thank you so much for joining the show. This was
Yes.
incredible.
Thank you for having me, sis.
Before we close today on Revolt Sports Weekly, I would like to talk about something a little bit more serious than the typical sports conversations we normally have, because some things are just bigger than sports. Um, as a Black woman, it is really hard for me to see the system fail yet another innocent Black man. Kyren Lacy, a football player with big dreams, was falsely accused of being involved in an accident that claimed the lives of two people. Unfortunately, because of backlash after the incident and being accused of a crime he did not commit, Kyren took his own life. And it absolutely breaks my heart to see someone deal with backlash and vitriol for a crime they were not involved in. And Tyler Warner, state police, was coercing people to say it was Kyren Lacy's vehicle that was involved in the accident. Kyren and his family deserve justice for what has happened. His innocence coming out after he is already gone, it doesn't give them any peace. It doesn't give any peace to the situation, and it's not reconciliation for what has happened to him and for the way he was probably treated after the accident. And I just want to say, it is so important as Black people, we come together and we protect our own, and we acknowledge that people are innocent until proven guilty. And we take this situation very seriously, along with mental health and situations of that nature. If you need help, please, please, please be sure to call the suicide prevention hotline, talk to your friends, get into therapy. Don't be afraid to have emotions. It is so important as people that we acknowledge our mental health just as much as we do our physical health. And this story is absolutely heartbreaking. I don't have a resolution. I don't have a pretty little bow to tie this up in, but I did want to make you guys aware, if you haven't seen this story covered, that this has happened. And as people, there's something that we can all do to prevent situations like this in the future. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of Revolt Sports Weekly. Make sure to subscribe to Revolt Sports on YouTube and follow us on social media to be a part of the conversation. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back next week.